Are you looking to streamline your application process for academic programs? How about doing that using Salesforce? If so, this is the video for you. Let me show you the use case. It begins with students signing up using the form. They will then be created as a contact, and now they can log into the portal. Once they log in, they're able to view all their applications. Some could be submitted, some could be in process, or some could be rejected. They're able to track those in a dashboard. If they continue with the application, we begin with loading all their information from Salesforce, their personal info, their contact information, and their legal address. If they wish to update this, they can. Moving on, we have work experiences. These are line items created under the affiliation record. They're able to add multiple work experiences, or they can remove if they wish to do so. Next up is references. They can add up to 2 references. They can add up to as many as they like, but right now the client has only requested for 2. They can also add additional education history, and this follows the same premise as work experience, multiple records, creates it as affiliation record type called education history, and after that, they follow the same pattern for tests as well. Next up is designations, and again, this follows the same route. You're able to create multiple entries and push them to Salesforce. These entries are stored in Salesforce and reading them back in real time. If they have an essay, they can enter an essay into a rich text field, which then gets pushed to Salesforce. You can also set maximum amount of characters or minimum amount of characters that the essay needs to be. Supplementing that, we give a file upload capability, which means any files they wish to upload will go against the record in Salesforce. And the final part is payment integration. Using Stripe, they're able to pay directly for this application, and then the process is fully completed and all the information will be written back to Salesforce, including the Stripe data. So that was a use case, a lot of functionality required. So let me take you behind the scenes to show you how we build this using drag and drop functionality. So that was a sneak peek, and now it's time for the demo. Now we'll get to see how the data leaves Titan and ends up in Salesforce, how we work with multiple records, how we work with payment integration. So I'm really amped. Let's get into it. Now to begin this application process, I need to sign up, which means I'll head over to the sign up form, enter my details, followed by email, and click continue. This will create a record inside of Salesforce. If I refresh, you can see a contact has been created. Now using that email, I click continue, and Titan will check if that email exists under the contact. If it does, it will send that email a 2-factor authorization code. So let's head over to my email. Here is the code. Let's copy the code and log right in. Now in this case, if I go into my application, there is nothing because no application has been created. If there were existing applications, it will show under this dashboard. Now I will create a brand new application. I'm allowed to choose my program. This is all coming from Salesforce, a dynamic pick list. And now I can choose my entry term. It could be fall of 24, 23, spring 24. Now as I click next, this will create an application inside Salesforce. Here it is. And it's got Joe Blogs linked to it. The program term is there, as well as the academic program. If I head over to Joe Blogs, what I'm going to do is upload an image. So we'll go in there. It's just a simple rich text field, nothing crazy, and I'm going to choose to upload a photo like this. As I click save, the photo will now be uploaded. Here's the cool part. If I go back and then I click next, you can see the image is now available. Here on, I can go ahead and update some data, so I can choose to enter more details, and I click next. This will update Salesforce. If I head over to the contact and refresh, you'll be able to see that the data for the first part is now fully updated, which is really cool. Back in my portal, I can now add work experiences. Once I click submit, this will write back to Salesforce in real time and read that result back in real time. If I head over to my affiliations, let's say I choose the work record type, work history, you can now see that this is created. But let's hold on for a second, let's create another one. As I click submit, writes back to Salesforce, reads that result back. In Salesforce, refresh, there is your second line item. Clicking next, it will take us onto references. Now references will end up under the applications itself, and I'll walk you through it. Currently there are no references available. Well, now it's time for us to create them. Now as I click next, this will update in Salesforce. So nothing here in candidate references. If I refresh, voila, there we are. So next to the application, you can see we're starting to add things. We're adding affiliation records. We're adding candidate references. You're able to see all the candidate references separately, as well as the affiliation record. The next aspect I want to show you is education history. But before we do that, I want to change the list here to show the education history record type. So currently there is nothing. We are going to go ahead and add some education histories. Again, I'm entering these details as I go along, and I click submit, writes back to Salesforce, reads that result back. If I head over to Salesforce, there it is. Let's go and do one more time. Click submit, writes back to Salesforce, reads that result back. And there you have it. Moving on to the next section, this is tests. You can again add multiple tests. So I'm just going to add data very quickly. Click submit. It's going to write back to Salesforce, read that result back. I will quickly change, and now you can see the result has been added. Let's do another one. Click submit, writes back to Salesforce, reads that result back. In Salesforce, there is the refresh. Everything linking up really nicely. Professional designations works in the same way. So again, I can add professional designation, enter the date certified, click submit, writes back to Salesforce, reads that result back. Let's head over and do professional designations, and there is my result. Let's do it one more time. We will choose other. Click submit, writes back to Salesforce, reads that result back, and there it is in Salesforce. So application is starting to fill up. It's starting to gather all that data, all the affiliations are being uploaded correctly, all the references are being uploaded correctly, which brings me on to my next section, essays. Now this is very cool. Watch what happens here. So let's say I go ahead and enter a paragraph, and I click submit and next. Let me go back 1 second. In Salesforce, this will create an essay. If I refresh, here it is. Now let's say I've uploaded an incorrect version. I want to be able to upload another version. Well, I go back in, I can change the entire text, click submit and next. In Salesforce, it will create another version, just like that. So now this version has more data, and there's the old version for your comparative analysis. Very cool. And again, this is uploaded against the application. We can do supplemental items. If I head over to my docs, let's say I'm going to choose 3 docs. Click open. A cool part in Titan is you're able to quickly view what documents you uploaded, and if it's not to your satisfactory, you can delete them. Once I click next, these will be uploaded under the file sections inside of the application. So you can see the file section is completely empty, but if I head over there, you can see all the files are now successfully uploaded. Very, very cool. And then the final part is doing the payment integration. This links to Stripe. I'm going to go ahead and enter the data. As I click submit, this will write back to Salesforce, right back to Stripe, and all the data is now returned back into Salesforce as well. If I head over to Salesforce and I refresh one more time, here we are, all the JSON from Stripe directly into Salesforce, and the application status is now set to submitted. So that is the full process of the application from front end all the way to the back end, collecting many different record types such as work history, education history, tests, references, essays, file uploads. That's how you do it. So that was the end-to-end process, streamlining the entire application back into Salesforce. I hope you took some value away from it. And if you like the content, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to bringing you more in the future.